Hey everybody, it's Sandy. I just wanted to come to you to talk a little bit about tapping in extra stressful times, which all of us have been in for way too long. And I am a personal empowerment coach. I teach a lot of people how to use EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique, because it is one of the fastest, best ways to release emotional things that have been piling up inside that affect us physically and mentally, spiritually, all around. And it's just been a tough time, and I just want to reach out and give you a little bit more of information and tutorial on doing that. So we've all been stressed out to the max in one way or another. And we each have different ways of expressing that, and especially coping with it, or at least trying to. Some of us will hold it in for a really long time, and that can get even more critical to release. But there are so many things that happen to us as we begin to experience things that I like to call traumas, because we have little T traumas and big T traumas throughout our life. And right now, this is a global trauma that we have not seen before. There's a lot of uncertainty because it's so different. It's changing day by day, hour by hour, and we're getting weary. When it keeps coming at us and coming at us day after day, it's like one thing after another. It takes its toll. It begins to affect us in many ways. And I'm sure you're experiencing that. You might see this overall. Your body, your mind, and your spirit are affected. And some of us will express it with more anger, even if we hold it internally. We can be mad or really frustrated, or both. Some of us just get sad and disappointed, even depressed, and feel hopeless and helpless about the situation for ourselves and for everybody else. So we have been experiencing this global trauma, and we are all getting so weary of it. We may have hope for the future, but this uncertainty kind of brings us back, cycles us back into this anxiety, this fear about what's going to happen next. Is this ever going to end? What will our life ever be like again? Can we ever have some kind of normal, whatever that is? Can we just get back to something natural that feels good? So I'm inviting you to experience and to use the power of EFT tapping. The emotional freedom technique is a powerful mind-body tool that has been actually studied in many, I don't know, over 100 peer-reviewed studies and other research going on, to be extremely effective. I personally have found it to be the most effective. Even the Veterans Administration has accepted it as treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder, which is huge to be able to help our people coming back from such huge trauma. And we know now that it's been very helpful with mass shootings in schools and mass traumas everywhere. So take it on as a little bit of help for yourself. You can find my basic tapping videos on YouTube. I'll put this one up there too. But YouTube, Sandy Evenson Coaching. You'll see some basic videos on what is EFT tapping, how to tap, tapping for anxiety. You'll see a lot of other promotional videos too, but they're all helpful. And so I want you to just follow along with me as I demo today. Um, it's just the biggest thing to know about this is that acknowledgement and voicing of how you feel, the thoughts that are in your head, the feelings in your body, will give you the fastest, biggest impact of moving that energy. Because what we do is we use literally our fingertips to tap on acupuncture points on our face and body. That actually sends a message to our brain to shut off that fight, flight, flee, freeze, stress response to help us turn on calm. And I'll take you through that in a second. It's just important to know that usually when you watch a tapping video for the first time, you might be shown how to use the setup, which is on the side of the hand, where we're saying things like, even though I'm stressed, I totally love and accept myself. But when you're really stressed, whether you're feeling down and depressed or over the top overwhelmed with anxiety, you want to jump right in and just go right to the tapping points. Now you can tap all of them, but I often just take one, and I gravitate to the collarbone point here, and I'll show you those in a second so you just get a little familiar. But it's really easy because you can actually move around and walk and do this and just take a second to acknowledge. Lots of other ways to tap. I can come back with other videos to show you that, but just know that it really is a fast and easy way to get out what's in your head and keep it from causing more and more and more overwhelm in all of this. And I promise you that if you don't express it, it will come out some way, and it's usually in the form of a breakdown. Your body will take you down in some way. And we all express that in our bodies in different ways. You might have it at the back of your neck and shoulders, the lower back, headaches, or joint pain. There's all sorts of things that can happen. You may take on a lot of weight, particularly around your midsection. And yes, that's because we're home eating more, but it's also the stress. So just know that and give yourself a break and allow yourself to do this. So you'll be tapping with just whatever comes up in your mind, that first negative thought you have. And then as you go along, another thought may pop in, and just go with it. When I first experienced this, I was so amazed at what would come up. Because the first time I did it, it was around a lot of overwhelm. I thought the world was falling down around me. And as I tapped, oh my gosh, grief came up. Grief. And I know right now you might be starting with that, because many of us are in deep, deep grief for the loss of our loved ones or people we know, or just around the world, the massive loss that we have. And not just loss of our human beings, but also loss of jobs. And sometimes it's like, what am I going to eat and where am I going to live? So that might make you feel worse right now, but I promise you, if we go through this, we can do it. And you'll see the movement of it, and you can practice. So you might be feeling overwhelmed. You might be feeling sad. I'm just going to use some words, and you can chime in. But the other thing that really works is even when you're tapping with someone else using their words, it works for you. And I encourage you to repeat after me and follow along in the tapping. I'll give you time to do that. And if another word pops in or another phrase, do that. Express everything. And that's how it will move, because this energy has been stuck in us for a long time. A lot of us have a lot of negative things inside of us that have been there since we were children. and throughout other times in our lives that are just stuck there and looking for a way to move and get out of there. And we can harvest that energy. It's getting piled on with all the other things going on in our lives. As I said, you don't have to fix it. We're going to get to the end, and instead of, many times if we have the time, we can go into positive affirmations. But with this, when you're really overwhelmed with any emotion and feeling, you're just going to honor it. You're just going to say, I honor how I feel. And that's all you have to do. And perhaps at the end of the day, you might say more. Because if you do this throughout the day, whenever you feel something come up, you can just stop and take a breath, tap a little bit, and breathe. That will let off a little steam. By the end of the day, you will not have so much built up. You will sleep better. And if you can take the time before going to bed to do a little bit more release of letting go of what's happened during the day and in the past, and letting go of the worry about tomorrow and what comes next, and focus just on your present moment, you will sleep better. And I promise to bring you more, but I just had to reach out right now to see if maybe I can add a little bit of help for you. So I've already spent 10 minutes or more explaining, so I want to hop right in. So emotional freedom technique, tapping. We just tap along these points. They're acupuncture points that are connected directly to the meridians running through our body. And when we get under stress, our brain gets sort of circumvented with logic, and the fight and flight and flee takes over. The freezing takes over. And so when we do this, it'll flip it like a switch to help you get back into more calmness. So I want to show you right now. There's one right at the eyebrow. We call this the eyebrow point, which is right at the end of the brow next to the bone of the nose. There's an orbital bone here, and it's right there. It's almost an indentation if you kind of feel around, but it's just right there. You want to not be up here or over there. You just really, that's the only important thing about this, because it doesn't matter if you tap on one or all points. It doesn't matter if you do both sides or just one, because it works either way. They run down both sides of the body, and you can use just one point and it's fine. It will work, I promise. So then it doesn't matter what you say. It's important to say what's in your head to get that out. It's important to feel into your body and recognize where your stress is, where you hold that stress, so that you can release that too. That'll help you notice that you are releasing it. And then just move through it as best you can, and you'll find out there's really no wrong way to do it, except for making sure that you hit those points. And if you're doing the full round, you want to maybe hit about 5 points. There's so many on the body, but we use the face and a little bit here, and I'll show you. So that's the eyebrow point. Then the side of the eye, which is right at the end of that brow again, on that bone. And then under the eye, which is right below the middle of your eye, that iris, on that bone. So you've just circled around that. And then it's under the nose, right above the lip. And then the chin point, which is right in that cleft of your chin. There is the collarbone point, and if you see these bones here, you come down and you come below it and out. There's an indentation. Some of you will feel a little bit of soreness there, and you'll know you're in the right spot. So it's right there. And there's another one under the arm, about 3-4 inches down. It's right in line with the chest, with the bra on women. I don't always use this on camera. It can be a little awkward. There's another point at the top of the head, and you can kind of twirl around like that or just go. So again, you can use 2 hands, left or right. It doesn't matter. And you can switch in the middle if you want to. There are other points. There's, of course, the side of the hand. Sometimes we'll add that into the circle of doing it. And there's also something I love to teach children, but this is great that you can use if you're presenting somewhere on stage, which we may get back to that one day, but you might even be on your Zoom call and using this. I do it when I'm walking sometimes, but it's on the side of the fingertips. So if you're look at your hand this way, it's on the inside of the thumb and the sides of the fingertips, and you can just tap along there. It's really cool. You can have your hand down and nobody knows. So I think that's enough for now, and we're just going to go through this. So come with me, take a breath, and you can stand or sit, get comfortable for this one, and just think about your day, think about the stresses that you've been having, and feel into that. I want you to sort of just feel into what it is that you've got. And I'm going to go with some overwhelm and frustration and anxiety first, and maybe weave in the other stuff, just so you can get a feel for it. And then you can take this on your own and do what you want to do. And again, there's lots of info on YouTube, and my website's under repair at the moment, but there'll be a lot more there as well. So we're going to start with the eyebrow point. We're going to tap and speak. I want you to tap along and repeat after me. I am so stressed. I'm feeling so anxious. There's so much going on. I don't know what to do. What if this doesn't end? It's too much. I can't believe how much is going on. I can't take it anymore. My mind is just spinning. There's so many things to do, and I don't know how. I don't know how we're going to get through this. So many people are sick or dying. I get so sad when I think about it. I get so worried about people out there, about my family. I can't even see. I can't see my friends. We're all worried. We don't know where the money's going to come from. We just don't know. And that makes me so afraid. I'm afraid. I really worry. It's so overwhelming. All this stress, all this anxiety, all the sadness, all the loss, so much. How are we ever going to get through this? I'm just going to honor how I feel. I'm just going to honor. I've been through a lot. We're going through so much, and it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to handle. I'm just going to honor that. Take a breath and just kind of shake it out. That was very quick. You can go as long as you want to. Generally, when you're in that mode, you just do it quickly and let it go. Now, when I work with people privately, one-on-one or in groups, we can do some long stretches of tapping. I do a lot of guided visualization where we go into some memories even and work through why we have certain stresses. But with this kind of thing, it's just a really quick release. So let's just do a little bit more. Kind of feel into your body now. Is some of the tenseness relaxing and releasing? Feel in there. Where are you feeling it? If you still have more tenseness in the physical sense, keep going. If you still have lots of thoughts spinning in your head, keep going. And if you don't have time, just offer yourself the time later. Even if you're in the bathroom for an extra minute, just go there and do that. Like I said, I did a lot at the kitchen sink. It saved my sanity, believe me. I did a lot sitting in the ER at the hospital, and a lot in assisted living and hospice and all sorts of places. And I still, when things come up for me, a big one for me is to go for a walk and tap and walk. And I will just simply use the side of my hand on my thigh, or I might walk along like this. And I do tend to put my hand on my heart, and I'm getting those 2 points really, but the heart chakra is just below there. The heart center of energy is there. So you can just put your whole hand this way, and that's like great relief to just breathe and feel into it. So I want you to breathe and feel in again. Yes, I've been under a lot of stress. It has been unrelenting and so hard to deal with. I'm so tired. The truth is, I'm exhausted and I'm afraid. I'm worried for our future. I'm worried for the world. There's too much going on. I'm just going to honor all of that. I'm going to honor that I've been through a lot, still going through it. We're all going through it, and that's okay. And I am open to releasing some of this stress. I'm open to calling in some calm and relaxation, releasing the anxiety and fear, calling in some calm, even just for a moment right now, right here, just for me, because I've been through so much. I honor how much I've been through. Take a breath. And that's how it works. You simply tap and talk. I find that when I'm really overwhelmed, whether I'm really mad at something or someone, or I'm frustrated or sad, it's usually pretty ramped up. So I start tapping faster, along with how my thoughts are running. And I find that as I tap, I begin to slow down because my thoughts, things are turning off and the calm is coming in. So if you can get to that point where you feel a breath come, you know you're shifting it. And like I said before, at the kitchen sink, sometimes it might be 30 seconds and it felt better. And I've been in some tough conversations where I've had my hands between my knees and, it just looks like I'm clasping them, but I would be doing a little tapping like that. Or I might be under a table having coffee with someone. Of course, now that's 6 feet away. But the hands might be under the table doing a little bit of tapping in some sort so that I could stay calm during the conversation. So I want you to think about all of these things. Please reach out to me, message me, comment, let me know. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'd love to hear from you. And happy tapping. Best of luck to you. Stay safe. Stay well, because we are getting through this. It is going to be different, but we are resilient. We're strong. You can do this. I know you can.